Hi there, my name is Ben Powell. I am a lecturer in architecture at the University of Suffolk. I'm also a practicing architect and director of the architectural practice Studio Manifest. You can find our stuff at studiomanifest.co.uk. Our paper is entitled Learnings from the Evolution of the University of Suffolk EcoLab, adopting people-centered design approaches to encourage the mass uptake of energy transition solutions in the housing sector. The EcoLab is going to become a smart living research laboratory, which is currently being developed by the University of Suffolk in partnership with BT. So Studio Manifest were brought on board to help realise the project, including defining the brief, developing designs for the scheme, and eventually overseeing the construction of the project. So the proposals of the EcoLab scheme have just been submitted to the Planning Commission, and with construction due to commence towards the end of the year. The image you can now see on the screen shows you what the project looks like. It gives you a little bit of an indication, and the following slides were extracted from the planning application documents and describe the development of the project up until this point. These will click through quite quickly, but if at the end of the presentation you'd like to see more or chat to us about this, then you can contact me via email. It's b.powell, P-O-W-E-L-L, at uos.ac.uk. So the core aim for the project is twofold. One, as a response to the climate emergency and specifically the impact that the construction industry has on this, being responsible for roughly 40% of global emissions. In parallel to this, we have a housing crisis in the UK, and specifically a chronic shortage of affordable housing. To provide some context on that, in the year ending April 2019, despite an 11-year high, we only built 170,000 houses in the UK, which is roughly half of that required. The EcoLab brief is therefore to create a sustainable design exemplar. We're working to a limited budget of approximately £200,000. The initial targets for the project are to achieve a zero carbon occupancy, a reduction in embodied carbon of around 50% compared to a typical brick and block house, and to construct the building using the latest construction methods such as off-site fabrication. This is to try and create the potential for the model to be replicated at scale. In the longer term, the completed build will utilise smart systems to evaluate the performance of sustainable materials, low carbon energy and water consumption, and this will be coupled with the critical consideration of the wider landscape through ecological design. Whilst we hope that the research from the project will provide valuable insights, we are also acutely aware of the urgency of the situation and the need to be implementing these outcomes immediately and at a mass scale. This comes in the face of a construction industry which is notoriously resistant to change and is driven by the market, and that's something I'm acutely aware of from my own experience in practice. These issues are something that were highlighted most recently in the government report Building a Market for Energy Efficiency Call for Evidence Summary of Responses, which was published in 2019. Amongst other things, the report identified the need to build a market for energy efficiency. It also highlighted a potential lack of low carbon building construction knowledge and the impact that decreasing home ownership levels have on reducing the incentive to improve properties or buy an efficient home from the outset, therefore demonstrating or lending towards the mutuality of the climate change and housing problems. So to this effect, our focus of our work on the EcoLab so far has been to put in place a collaborative and open methodology that encourages dialogue and which places people at the centre of the development of the scheme. So how are we doing this? Well, at an institutional level, the project team blends academics from the traditional sciences with those more closely associated with the social sciences. This cross-disciplinary approach is extended to partnerships outside of the university. Dialogue is ongoing with the local planning authority from East Suffolk Council, and as well as using the scheme as an exemplar for sustainable design, it's been agreed to share information on the project's costs to demonstrate that low energy, high-tech, sustainable construction can be used to build affordable homes. Project links have also been established with the BRE, as well as advising on the technical performance of the building with a focus on occupational health. The long-term outcomes from the project will feed into research being undertaken at a national level. The design process itself has also been collaborative. During lockdown, we held an online event called the EcoLab Architecture Hackathon, through which architecture students developed the concept designs for the project. This activity took place over 2 sessions with a group of around 12 participants. In the first session, precedents were assembled and sketch designs developed. In the second session, a collaborative BIM environment was utilised, through which the sketch designs were developed into 3D proposals, some of which are shown in the slides on screen. As well as being a great opportunity for architecture students to gain experience working on a live project and to see their designs develop into a built scheme, the incredible energy and enthusiasm from the participants has provided the project with a unique platform from which to grow. Feedback from the session was also very positive, with all the stakeholders rating the event either very good or excellent, feeling they had learned a significant amount about sustainable design. So at the University of Suffolk, we believe that activities such as this are an essential component in ensuring that all actors involved in the development of the built environment are equipped with the requisite low carbon building construction knowledge. And it also outlines the type of approach that we are trying to take to training young architects. So the ideas from the hackathon have actually directly influenced the proposals of the building, some of which you'll see coming up on your screen. Whilst being used as a research lab, the compact building takes the form of a 2-bedroom house. It's built using a SIP system and will achieve U values of 0.1 or better. It'll also be clad in locally sourced materials. Unfortunately, we don't have time to go through all the details about this now, but again, please feel free to contact me if you'd like to find out more. You'll also be able to see the planning lab online. So looking ahead, further collaborative design initiatives are planned. University of Suffolk's architecture students will play an active role in the detailed design and construction of the scheme. A similar collaborative design event is being planned with the wildlife, ecology and conservation science students. Following the completion of the building, regular studies are expected to be undertaken with the building in occupation, including inviting members of the public to use the space to test how intuitive and user-friendly the various smart technologies are. But in the immediate future, the priority is to raise the public profile of the project, not just within academic spheres, but also particularly to the wider public. So to this effect, the design of the building is intended to be eye-catching, not necessarily to everyone's tastes, I will admit, but this, I hope, will aid with a media campaign, which we are intending and beginning to put out for the local and national press, as well as the architectural and lifestyle publications. It's hoped that the attention in these areas will enhance the longer-term relevance and reach of the scheme. And if there's anyone watching today who can help with this, we'd be extremely grateful, and yet anything you can do to help us raise the profile of the scheme or share the project would be of massive benefit. Just to briefly summarise then, so within a collaborative framework, we're working collectively to realise the wider social and affordability aspects of greening the built environment, and to develop a scheme that's not only technically excellent, but which is designed for people. A big but valuable research ask from what will be a compact, modern and comfortable building footprint at a time when land availability, resource usage and quality affordable housing represent a national challenge. Thanks very much, and please feel free to contact me if you have any further questions.